London Fashion Week Spring-Summer 22, Fib'S verdict. In the growing return to normality, London Fashion Week arrived on cue. And citywide celebrations and excitement are real, this time with runways oozing nostalgia. On the heels of the Met Gala and VMAs, London Fashion Week makes its back-in-the-flesh debut. After 2 virtual shows and a runway hiatus, the city's creativity and theatricality still run rampant.
This is from a brand called Bon Bon Whims Club. What else do I got? This is from VMAs, which is like a jewelry brand in New York.
And I love the pearls.
Thank you. I think everything, yeah, vintage again, vintage.
Designers and street stylists alike are looking back and forward to freedom and fun. Back in full swing, creators, celebrities and fashion lovers have flooded the London scene over the past week. Around 130 designers showcased their flourishing and full Spring-Summer 2022 collections on runways and digital presentations. And the whole week has had gender neutrality and a sense of historical grandeur at heart. So without further ado, the crème de la crème of London Fashion Week Spring-Summer 22.
Renegotiating its uses and its anticipated interpretations.
Young menswear designer from northeast London, Seoul Nash opened London Fashion Week with back-to-school vibes. With new uniform codes and tailored sportswear, the runway became an after-school bus stop hangout. Models sported nylon track pants, shorts and hoodies with string detailing, and backpacks and trainers detailed Nash's collaboration with Nike. A standout was a reversible nylon cagoule and a trench coat that transformed into a bomber. The collection was heartfelt, considered and modern London. Hoods were printed with images of Nash's school travel card, included to support free public transport for children and teenagers, which is currently under threat in London.
I'm 14 years of age and I'm angry and annoyed at this UK government for suspending zip cards for our young people.
Supriya Lele. Supriya Lele's collection was one of my personal favourites. The show featured signature keyhole cutouts, ruched leather, chiffon ribbon details and asymmetric transparent layers. Lele also embedded her heritage with a fusion of British and Indian clothing that has long marked her work. Ruched bras and crop tops paid tribute to sari tradition. With sought-after dresses and her eye-catching use of colour, Lele's simplicity provides a carefully curated elegance. The collection combines sexiness and comfort to produce timely going outfits. Though the runway saw mainly classic silhouetted models, the show would have been elevated with more variety of body types and different size models. But needless to say, the looks were cool and classy. And with influencers and celebrities already wearing Supriya Lele, the designer is definitely one to keep eyes on. Knwls. Charlotte Knwls and Alexandra Arsenault, Knwls Adrenaline Collection, saw the thrill of live fashion shows remembered during their show. Set in an underground car park near Oxford Circus, models strutted through patches of light to a roaring soundtrack. And the backdrop only enhanced the designs. Present were Knwls favourites: waist-snatching bustiers, low-rise pants, sheer mesh, elaborate rifts and sensual cuts. And it saw some brand expansions, with the unmissable earth palette and creamy neutral tone, swirled around tiny hot pink accessory detailing. Plus, the brand's use of leather, mixed textures and stretch jersey made them distinctive, and juxtaposed designs of snakeskin, leather tassels and corsets brought a touch of the Wild West.
What brings you out today?
For Fashion Week, yeah, I'm just about for Fashion Week.
Are you going to see any shows?
Today I'm not, but I'm here to see all my friends. So.
Oh, I love that.
Edward Crutchley. Undoubtedly, Edward Crutchley brought a London Fashion Week collection to remember. With ball gowns, suits and brocade fabrics, Crutchley brings an ode to the past. Inspired by queer culture in the 18th century, the show was relevant, tasteful and classical. Providing regality and royal-looking models, the designer makes a statement that queer culture has been part of London life for centuries. And with a variety of silhouettes wearing contemporary loose tailoring to cropped bustiers and old-century Gothic robes, the collection was unparalleled in the week. Distinct patterns and the brown and light green palette were signatures. It's safe to say that we'll be thinking about it for a while. Maximilian. Designer Maximilian Davis returns with 24 looks born out of London culture and traditions of clubbing and sea life. Scant cutouts, minimalism, detailed tailoring and wet looks went noticed. Maximilian's proposes outfits for the summer, with suits, bandeau tops, micro skirts and sheer looks. He fuses aquatic freedom and summer love with fans like A$AP Rocky, Michaela Cole and Rihanna. We're sure bigger lies ahead. Honourable mentions. David Comer. David Comer brought the party to London Fashion Week. Presenting a collection you'd see in Vogue or on the red carpet, this was all glitz and sophistication. Simone Rocha. Appearing at the medieval church of St Bartholomew the Great in London, from ruffles to rituals, the show felt religious. Preen by Thornton Brigazzi. Digitally presented, Preen by Thornton Brigazzi deserved a double take. The innovation and designing talent was clear. Richard Malone. Skillful draping, eye-catching colours, hanging fabrics, pinched waists, and bright frills made up Richard Malone's Spring-Summer 2022 collection. Emerald greens, cobalt blues, and bright oranges were standouts. Newcomers. SS Daily. SS Daily's collection took the form of a play, performed and written by a cast of the National Youth Theatre. Based on the foundations of English public schools, the pieces are reminiscent of Eton and Oxford College-style clothing.
May be adorned with velveteen maps of Jamaica, of Trinidad, or Grenada. It makes no difference. Clays from the same mud, fruit of the same tree. What we are building here is communion, a togetherness, a safe passage, a rite, a performance, a process, a collective choreography.
Yuhan Wang. London-based Chinese designer Yuhan Wang had appeared previously under mentorship of Fashion East, but she arises with her own solo collection for Spring-Summer 22 and Statement. It's the 21st century. Women shouldn't feel vulnerable or live with fear, said Wang. London Fashion Week was a striking celebration, leading the way to the other two big fashion weeks coming. Few designers held back. Feeling like a huge citywide party now come and gone, it was filled with splendour and grandeur. However, while the show was filled with creative spirits and high hopes, it lacked the extent of body representation we were getting familiar with during New York Fashion Week. But as always, what's missing on the runways can more than be found on the inspired streets of London.